Well, we are awaiting comments from President Biden following that jobs report. He is scheduled to speak in just a bit. We just heard from Labor Secretary Marty Walsh talking about the strength of the U.S. labor market as well. And there's somebody else we're going to talk to about this seemingly healthy labor market. That is Adam Ozimek. He's chief economist at Upwork. Adam, I have to say, I was just chuckling at your Twitter feed because, as you said, it's a family feed and this is a family show. But F yeah, I think you said in terms of in reaction to that number and the revisions, which, as you also noted in your feed, largely have been higher, especially the past few months. What's going on here? Is it that people, hired people for the holidays, kept them on? Or what's the sort of big driving dynamic here in your view?
Yeah, I really think that's a big part of the story. The last few months, payroll growth has been weaker than made sense with a lot of the other economic data out there. I mean, obviously, job openings are really, really high, so there's a lot of demand. And all of the things that have been holding back labor supply have been fading. So you look at the household survey and you see really strong growth there. So the upward revisions of the last few months and the really strong report this month, they're all consistent with everyone sort of underestimating the strength of the labor market. And we're really having a much stronger recovery than was previously expected. People are coming back to work. And, like I said, that is a really great news. So that's definitely something to celebrate.
Adam, is the labor shortage, have we seen the worst of that?
That's a great question. So there's ways in which it's going to continue to ease, and there are ways in which it's going to continue to be acute. So if you look at sort of the lower wage sector of the labor market, I think a lot of workers there are going to continue to come back. You're going to see labor supply increasing as the pent up savings that people have had from a variety of stimulus and lower spending over the pandemic, that sort of gets eroded. People are spending that down and they're going to be coming back to work, and they are coming back to work. So I think we're going to see an easing of the shortages at the lower end of the labor market. But there are other things that are going to continue to make shortages acute, especially remote work. I think is going to lead people to keep quitting their jobs and looking for a job that is remote if their employer isn't offering them that.
And Adam, what does all of this imply about wage growth, right? Wage growth at 5.7%, still not keeping up with inflation. But if the labor shortage is going to abate, does that mean that we're also going to see wage growth abate?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, what we're seeing is sort of an illusion of a tight labor market because workers haven't come back entirely yet. So it looks like a strong labor market. It looks like employers are just unable to find workers, but there's still a lot of people out there who want to work. And as they do come back, that is going to ease those hiring pressures, and that is going to ease wage growth. We're not going to see a continuation of the kind of wage pressures that we've had once employers don't need to compete so hard to find workers.
Adam, what jobs are seeing some of the fastest wage growth?
So super strong demand in leisure and hospitality, which is still bouncing back, and also, transportation and warehousing. And, another strong growth sector is manufacturing. And you should really think of all of these sort of, in a way, sharing a labor pool of relatively entry-level workers who can sort of float in between these sectors. And they're all kind of competing for the same workers. And it's the level of skills and experience where we've seen a disproportionate decline in labor supply. But those people will be coming back to work, and that is going to ease up those pressures quite a bit.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and by the way, those are jobs where you don't have a choice of hybrid work, right? Like you can't do a restaurant serving job or a manufacturing job remotely. So, there's just not that flexibility there.
That's right. And these are people who are going to work. In this country, you don't have the option to just say, I don't want to work anymore. Maybe at higher income levels or higher savings levels, but we don't have the kind of safety net that lets people just decide, especially people with lower skill levels, that I'm just not going to work anymore. And for better and for worse. But what that means for the labor market is that people are going to come back to work.
Some other research that you guys brought us is the hardest roles to fill right now. And that is also at sort of the higher end, right? Higher skilled end, I should say, in terms of data science, analytics, finance, accounting. So it's interesting that you get, I don't know if that implies sort of a barbell of jobs that are hard to fill right now, since you're also talking about things like leisure and hospitality.
Yeah, there certainly is some of that going on. The barbell is a good description. I think that in a lot of the higher end of the labor market, you've had a strong recovery in employment, and professional and business services employment above pre-pandemic. So you are seeing strong competition there in the labor markets. And the reality is there was strong competition there before the pandemic. And as this recovery winds down, there's going to be strong competition there going forward. So there's no future in which employers aren't going to have to work hard to hire the most skilled workers. The tight labor markets there are sort of an ongoing feature of our economy.
Adam, I've got a final question for you, and my team's going to laugh at me because I always ask about people's backgrounds. Nintendo cartridges, is that what they are?
Yep, Nintendo cartridges, and some Atari and a few others.
Wow, Devin Burris with another one, 2 for 2. Wow.
Yes, our Devin Burris is on fire today. She recognized what it was. All right, thanks, Adam Ozimek of Upwork. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.